time at the channel, welcome. This is a quick video where I'm responding to a comment on one of my previous videos from a Dan Shree Sonny. Thank you Dan Shree for commenting. They asked basically, why do you use green or red polish? And I'll answer just from my experience. This channel is just about my experience, what works for me. Yeah, there are people who have committed their entire career and worked many decades just polishing, so they're going to know a lot more than me about polishing. But at the same time, I kind of have experience of what works. So I'll just talk about differences of the polishes and then why I would choose one or the other on certain jobs. So this is a block of rouge. Rouge is just simply French for red. Some people mistakenly call that green rouge. In my mind, you're just calling it green red. So rouge just means red, and the red comes from red iron oxide in that, and some other stuff as well. And it's like a grease compound, it's like a grease block mixed with red iron oxide basically. That's why it's got its colour, that's why it's a kind of a waxy kind of feeling thing. So rouge for me is like a finishing polish. Like use your Tripoli grease mop and your Tripoli grease for getting all the scratches out and getting something perfectly smooth. Then when you're confident you've got everything as good as it can be, then you move on to like rouge or green. They're like finishing polishes. It should be very little work. If you've got scratches and stuff or like fire staining trying to get off, you're kind of losing battle if you're using a very soft mop and rouge. That should all be sorted out before you move on to these. So think of it as a finishing polish. Rouge, very good on silver, brings silver up really well, and also yellow gold. I used to always choose rouge for yellow gold and silver. Now it's usually just silver. Like even yellow gold, I'll just go to green. This is a nicer polish to use, I think. And I say nicer to use because green polish is less dusty. Like when you're polishing with the rouge, it's very greasy. I mean, it literally feels greasy to touch more than the green. It's got a waxy, greasy feel, but a lot of dust comes off it, and that dust is also greasy, so it just sticks to your skin, sticks to your clothes, makes a right mess. You can literally feel it. If you breathe in very fine dust, you can literally feel it like going inside you and sticking to your lungs. It's quite horrible stuff to use if you're doing a lot of it. That's why I've developed over the years just trying to do as much as possible with buff sticks, like buff paper, go down to the fine grades, and then there's less of this to do, but you still got to do a lot of the Tripoli grease, and then move on to the final bit of rouging. Because I don't like rouging. It's a messy, horrible, dirty job. Even with extraction on your polisher motor, it still kind of comes out and sticks to your hand and stuff. So just with that in mind, I don't really like using it. So I try to ensure that I don't have to do as much as possible, or as little as possible I want to do. Green, on the other hand, I said it's a bit nicer to use. I prefer using it because it's the same basically. It's a finishing mop. It's a finishing polish for white gold and platinum. But it's less dusty, it's a bit less greasy, less of it comes off and gets airborne, so just for that reason it's a nicer polish to use, and that's partly why, well really the main reason why I stopped doing yellow gold with red and just do yellow gold with green and white gold with green as well. So most of my polishing is just done with green. It's only silver really I use red now for. So I've been asked in the past about using files on platinum and gold, or is it okay to use a silver, a buff stick used on silver, is it okay to use it on platinum or whatever, to swap them over? I've got no problems with that. All my files and buff sticks are just for whatever. But for polishing, I'm very strict on it. Can't use green on your red mop or red on your green or whatever. Just they are specific. And then even the mops as well, like you can see I've written on them, I've got red in or green in. That way I can just grab it without having to closely look at which way they're pointing. I want that side goes inside every time. That's quite important. Like, when you share a workshop, when you work with other jewelers, other people will grab your mops and just put them on any way they want, and it used to really wind me up to the point where I bought my own mop for doing platinum. This is yellow polish, I've got it somewhere, but I've got a yellow block, which is like even harder, it's even finer kind of grit in there. Really brightens up platinum to the next level, but you've got to have just one very soft, fluffy mop, and then only use yellow. If I shared a workshop and someone put that on and put red on it, it's ruined the mop. So I literally used to have my own one. I used to hide it in a plastic bag and then put it in the cupboard. So only I knew it was there, and only I would use it. So yeah, I'm a bit funny about that. But if you want to do a good job, you've got to keep these separate and specific for polishes. So they always go on the same way, and you only ever put the same polish on. Because if you mix them up, you ruin the mops. That's kind of it. Just a little bit on what I think about rouge and green and why I use it. I mentioned yellow as well. I think it's worth, if you're working in platinum or even white gold as well, I'll touch it a little bit with this. Get a really soft, fluffy mop, and then only use it for yellow as well. I find the yellow polish. I think it's for platinum. It's just for more harder wearing metals like steel. We used to use it on Rolex watch bracelets. Yeah, steel is really good for, and platinum just works really well. It just seems to brighten it at extra kind of level more than green. But yeah, that's just my little input into green and red polish. Yeah, check out Gold Polisher on Instagram. He's the real deal. Like, he's really got decades of experience. He's got books out, travels the world teaching people stuff. So yeah, he knows an awful lot about polishing. If you want to really learn about it, I recommend Gold Polisher on Instagram. But yeah, that's it. That's my input for polishing jewellery. And click like and subscribe and all that. And then see you on the next one. Bye.